All right, so you're aiming for a DevOps role, and you know that internship is your first big step. Well, this isn't just a job search, it's your first real strategic mission. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how to decode the whole system so you can actually win. Look, we're not going to treat this hunt like some boring chore. We're going to treat it like a game, a system that you can understand and absolutely master. So forget everything you think you know, because we're about to get real about what it takes to land an internship that truly launches your career. So here's our game plan. First, we'll dive into the reality of the hunt. Then we'll expose the 3 biggest pitfalls that trip up almost everyone. After that, I'll give you the Strategist's playbook to navigate it all. And finally, we'll talk about what this all means for launching your career. Let's just get one thing straight right away. An internship is not just about adding another line to your resume. Not at all. It's your training ground. It's where all that theory you learned in class finally smacks into reality, and it's where your foundation as a real DevOps engineer begins to take shape. But yeah, getting there isn't exactly a walk in the park. The path is just littered with confusing advice, a ton of dead ends, and traps basically designed to catch anyone who isn't prepared. It's like a modern-day labyrinth, and trust me, if you go in without a map, you're going to get lost. And that brings us right to our first major pitfall, the complacency trap. You see it all the time. So many students treat their free time, or even the internship hunt itself, like it's some kind of extended vacation, just kind of waiting for these amazing opportunities to fall into their lap. And this really shows 2 totally different ways to go about it. On one side, you've got that passive vacation mentality, just waiting around. But on the other, you have the accelerator mindset, where you're proactively turning that free time into a launch pad for your career by building real skills. I mean, the difference in where you end up is just night and day. Okay, next up is what I call the relevance gamble. It is so tempting to just grab the very first offer that comes your way. But listen, that is a huge, huge mistake. Not all experience is good experience. So here's the critical point. If you fall for that any internship trap, you could end up doing mindless busy work that adds 0 value to your actual DevOps goals. The strategic choice, on the other hand, is targeting roles where you get your hands dirty with the tools that actually matter. Docker, Jenkins, AWS, and CI/CD pipelines. That is what builds a career. Now for our third pitfall. This one is a 2-headed monster I call the deception maze. Part 1 is spotting the completely fake internships, and Part 2 is figuring out how to get past the automated filters that can trash your resume before a human ever even sees it. So first, let's talk about the fakes. There's this thing called a certificate mill. It's basically a scheme where you pay money for a piece of paper that says you did an internship. It's not real, you learn no skills, you get no real-world experience, and believe me, employers can spot these a mile away. It's a trap you have to avoid. In the second part of this maze, it's the resume black hole. Seriously, you could have the most amazing skills in the world, but if your resume isn't formatted for the Applicant Tracking Systems, the ATS, it might just get filtered out by a robot. So you have to ask yourself, is my resume even making it past the bots? Okay, so we've laid out all the traps. Now let's talk about how to fight back. This is the Strategist's playbook, your personal guide to cracking the code on this whole system and actually winning the game. Winning this really comes down to 3 daily habits. First, you have to dedicate serious time, I'm talking 2 to 3 hours a day, to learning the core stuff. Second, be absolutely relentless with your applications. Hit up LinkedIn, AngelList, company sites, everywhere. And third, build your public profile. Get a strong GitHub portfolio going and network like crazy. Don't wait for opportunities, create them. And what about beating those resume robots? Keep it simple. Seriously, use clean formatting, no fancy images. Most importantly, customize your resume with keywords like Docker, AWS, and Jenkins, pulled directly from the job description. Highlight your projects, run it through a free ATS checker, and make your resume impossible for the system and the hiring manager to ignore. This really gets to a core belief of mine. Your money is a strategic tool. Don't you dare waste it on worthless certificates. Invest it in high-quality courses that genuinely make you better. Now, that is an investment that pays real, actual career dividends. So as we start to wrap this up, I want you to remember this. The internship isn't the finish line. It's the launch pad. It is the very first chapter of your professional story. It all boils down to this one number. 1. Just one single, strategic, high-quality internship has the power to define the entire path of your career. It is that important. If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. You have to shift your mindset. Stop being a passive applicant who just hopes for the best. Become a proactive strategist who understands the game. sees the traps coming, and executes a winning plan. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. This internship, it's the first chapter of your career, a story that you are just starting to write right now. So, what are you going to call it?